Hey, this is OXDF, and today we're doing day 4 of the 2023 Advent of Code Scratch Card. Looking at the challenge here, basically, I'm going to get this line. Each line is going to be a scratch card, and it's going to have a card number, and the card number, plus a colon. Then we're going to have a list of winning numbers, and then we're going to separate it by a pipe, a list of numbers on this card. And so basically, for each number on the card that is a winning number, you're going to multiply, basically it's powers of 2. So if you have one winning number, it's 2 to the 0. If you have, or 1. If you've got 2, it becomes 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 8, 16, etc. It doubles every time. And I think we're going to use that, like, if there's one winning number, it's going to be number 2 to the number of winning numbers minus 1, probably. Anyway, yeah, so let's go check. The one question that immediately jumps to my mind before we jump and start coding is, can there be repeats in this section? And that'll be worth thinking about. Also, is this section always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers? Or are there more? We'll check that out. Let's go ahead and jump in. I've got my Genday script here that will get the input and make a little Python stub for me. You can check it out in the repo. Let's check out the input. So it's definitely not always 8 numbers. So it looks like we do have a consistent, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers here, and then it is consistent. They're whatever, it's the same number every time. So that's interesting. The other question is, what happens if we have repeats? Can you have more than, could 96 show up in this list twice? And if it did, and 96 was a winning number, would I double it twice, or would I not? I don't see immediately any instances of that. Maybe we'll just put some guardrails in to think about that as we program. So, yeah, let's go ahead and check it out here. We'll go in. So we're going to read our lines in. That's going to be just fine. We don't have to worry about stripping here. That won't be a problem. I'm going to create a function today. We'll do def score card. It's going to take a card, which will be a line. And so what are we going to do with that line? Let me grab one example so we can put it in here like this. We'll just put that there. And so now what we can do is we can say game string, comma, numbers equals card.split on, like that. So that'll give us, game string will be card1 and numbers will be all that stuff. Winning, I don't know if we can do this. So win string, comma, numbers string equals numbers dot split on, like that. Now we're going to split and we'll get the list on both sides. I am capturing this space on the other side. It's not really going to be important because when you wrap, we're going to split on, well, it'll help us from not having, I guess, an empty string we have to deal with. Now we can say wins equals, and so what are we going to do? We're going to do win string dot split on space. And that'll give us a list of the numbers, and we just want to do int of x for x in that. And we can just say if x to make sure. That way, if we do get an empty string somewhere, we just don't worry about it. And we can do the same thing here for nums. I don't have that yet. And this will be in number string. Now we have our wins and our nums, and now we want to just do x for x in nums if x in wins. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to loop, we're going to take, this is going to be a list of all of the numbers that are in nums if it's in wins. And we can then say return to, let's see, what's the best, I forget, how 2 times len of that minus 1. I probably could have, well, let's make this a little cleaner to read. We'll grab this. Num wins equals that. And we can say num wins like that. I think that should do it for us. So now we just need to do part 1 equals line L for L in lines. So we go over each line, and for each line we're going to get the score. So we'll do score card on L, and then we just need to make this a sum. We can even do this as a generator here. So we go like this, and we might have an answer here. I'm going to grab the, I always like to test on the puzzle input, or on the example input here. So we will give this ex.txt, bad extension, rename ex.txt. We paste this in, save view. Python day4 ex.txt. 14, that does not feel right. Where's my number? It's gotta be way higher than that, doesn't it? Oh, 13 points. So we were so close, but no, not close. Let's see. Let's do for L in lines, print scorecard L. Try that and just sort of see what we're getting. We got a half there. That's not good. No, that means we have a numwins of 0. Aha ha. Okay. So we really need to say numwins equals. So I say if num wins 0 is going to return falsy. Now we can return 0. So basically, if we get, let's see. So if we get 1 win, 2 to the 0. Maybe I'm not doing this. Yeah, 2 to the 0 should be 1. So this should, let's try this. Basically, and I think that's actually, this, we may have just fixed it. Okay, yeah. And so we have 8, 2, 2, 1, 0, 0. Is that what I got? 8, 2, 2, 1, 0, 0. Let's check up there with this. The first one has 8, 2, 2, 1, 0, 0. Okay, feel better about that. I don't feel totally great about it. We didn't check for doubles. Let's just go ahead and try and see what we get. Probably want to get rid of that print, but let's put this in here. Got it. Okay. Hold on. Let's fix this. Let's get rid of this print real quick. We don't want to gunk up our output. And let's see. Okay, that looks good. I'm gonna take a break. We'll pause this real quick and read the second challenge. Okay, it's a bit confusing, but I think it's not really going to be too challenging. There's no points anymore. No longer do we just we count, like, so before we would count the number of wins, like doubling things up. No, that's all gone. So when card 1 produces 4 winners, right, which is what we were before, because that was 1, 2, 4, 8. What that means is I win copies of the next 4 cards. So I get a second copy of card 2, card 3, card 4, and card 5. So then card 2 had, what do we have up here? Card 2 had 2 winners. So that means I'm going to get another copy of 3 and 4. I'm going to get 2 more copies of 3 and 4. One for the original and one for the double. And so it's going to be, and so then card 3, I've got 3 copies of it already. I think that makes sense. So what I have here, we have 4 instances of 3. Let's see. The original one. Oh yeah, the original one from card 1 and 1 from each copy of card 2. So that's 4. And then those had 2 winners each. So we're gonna get 4 more 4s and 4 more 5s. And at the end, we want to know how many cards we got. And they just basically, they explicitly state in here somewhere, this one says, cards will never make you copy a card past the end of the table. So I can just assume I'm not going to copy past the end of the table. So I don't think this will be that hard, especially with our function we already have. So what are we going to do? Let's see. Let's say cards is equal to, and we are going to do 1 for underscore in range len. Where's my input? Line. Is that what I want? So what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to create a. Oh, actually, this is not what I want. I need to be able to get. I need to have a dictionary. So let's see. We need to, for range, yes, we're going to do like this. What I want here is a nice dictionary that I can reference, and I'll explain this a little more in a second. So we want to do I kind of like that. There, I think that's work. So basically what I'm going to have here is the numbers from, and we better do I plus 1 or we'll get confused. So we're now going to have, actually we don't, let's not worry about that. Let's just do I. So we're going to have, let's say we get, what was our example? Like 6 lines, 7 lines? 6 lines. So now we're going to have a dictionary with the keys 0 through 5, and they're all going to be set to 1, because that's what we have. We have 6 cards. They're all 1 each. Now we can loop over our lines again. So for a line in, we'll call it card in lines. Now for each card, what do we need to do? We need to get the score. So the number num equals scorecard card. And now we're gonna say, actually we better enumerate this. Let's see. I comma card and enumerate lines. So now we're gonna say for n in range, and we're gonna go from I plus 1 to I plus 1 plus num, actually might be plus 2 there. So let's think it through. If we are in card number 1, so card number 0, so I is 0, and we get back 4 wins, that's gonna be our num, we're gonna wanna go for 2, 3, 4, 5, which is gonna be the range 2 to 6, and this will be, sorry, 1, 2, 4. This is where my starting at 0 is being a pain, but it's going to work nicely with this enumerate. So we're starting with card 0. We want to get 4, so we want 1, 2, 3, and 4, which means we want the range from 1 to 5. And so I is 0, num is 4, so that's 6. So we want this to be plus 1. I believe that should do it for us. Let's try that with our example. And so what are we going to do? For each of those things, we're going to say card sub n plus equals cards sub I. So basically, for the first time, we have however many cards we have in slot 0. That's how many additional cards are going to show up here. And so part 2 is just going to be sum cards dot values. We can get all the values, and that's how many cards we have. So let's test this. No, we have an error here. Key error 6. Did we try to go too far? Surely it's not this. Okay, that wouldn't make any sense. No. Let's see. Let's put it right here. So we do print f string. We'll do I colon num. So part 1, 0 returns 8, and then we immediately hit 8 because we're not hitting the score. Oh shoot. Okay. What we're gonna have to do here is we're gonna return num wins, and then down here we're gonna go oh, that's a pain. That's a bummer. I'm almost tempted to divide this by take the log base. No, that's a pain. Oh, what's the best way to do this? The problem is we're returning the power of 2 here, right? So we could, this was so clean right here where we just get the score for each line. We could write a separate function. We could put how equals in here. That's not gonna be useful. We could put like a if part 2 in here so that we get back. I guess that's the cleanest thing to do. I don't like it. If it weren't for this issue here where we were returning 0 and we could just have this clean, I would easily just move putting the power 2 here. But putting power 2 in this comprehension is gonna be actually quite difficult because if we get 0, I guess we could do it. Let's do it that way. That seems cleanest. So we're gonna say so num wins is just going to return that. Now we just return the length. Now we need to fix part 1. So we're going to come down here, where were we? And we're going to say how 2, comma, scorecard. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to say it can't be less than 0. So it's going to be scorecard minus 1. And we're going to say the max of that, comma 0. And I think that'll still work. We need one more. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to get the number of winning numbers. And we're going to then subtract 1. If less than 0, we're just going to take 0. Then we're going to raise 2 to that. Oh no, that still gives us, if we get a 0 here, this is going to still be a 1 on times when we should have there. So we need, that time where it comes back 1/2 to not be 1/2. So maybe we need to do -1 like that. And then if it's, maybe we just call int on that, and int 1/2 int of 1/2 become 0 or become 1? 0, perfect. That's what I thought. Let's try that and see if that fixes us. We got 13 still for part 1. We can even double check here. I mean, in theory, we don't even have to check part 2 anymore, right? We could just comment out part 1, but I like having my examples work here. So 21,568, are we still good there? I want my code to be nice here. Yep, okay. So now we're back here, and we're getting back the num score card. Do we fail? Oh, I don't want input. Example. Okay, so what do we need here? Built-in function object is not iterable, of course, because I got to actually call that. We got an answer. Let's try example of 30. Was 30 our right answer? Yes. So we try it here, and we get a lot. So let's try and see if we got an answer. Awesome. So our strategy was good, and it was actually pretty fast. I went through a little bit of a... You have to watch me have a little bit of a crisis here, just trying to figure this stuff out. We can put this here if we want, if we don't actually use it. But overall, not too bad. We'll go over, because I don't know how confusing this was. So for part 1, we are going to calculate the number of winners on each card and return that. Originally, I calculated the score, but then later I decided not to. Then we're going to say, take the number of winners minus 1 to the power 2, and that'll give us our score. We have to be careful, though, because if the number of winners is 0, then that becomes 0 minus 1 is minus 1. 2 to the minus 1 is 1/2, and we don't want that, so we just use this int here to turn 1/2 into a 0. And otherwise, then, if we have one winner, 2 to the 1 is 1, int of 1 is still 1, so we're good. And we're good for all the rest, and that gives us part 1. In part 2, we're just going to keep a list of the number of cards we have, and we're going to work from the top down. Because nothing on card 2 and below ever affects the number of card 1s we have. So we can calculate card 1, figure out the number of card 2s we have. Then calculate card 2. Maybe we get card 3s from card 1 and from card 2, but it doesn't matter, because we're never adding more. And so we just parse them through, adding in those cards, and we get the result. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And I'll be back. I will be back tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.